Developers, and today we're going to be discussing our third straight week of this college football basketball predictions. I'd like to start out by saying I'm very happy. Adelaide and I are ecstatic. We're just so happy. You know why? It's because last week I started out 0-3, right? Not a great start. It was actually an abysmal start. I just completely missed on Oklahoma State beating West Virginia, and I completely whiffed on the Syracuse-Louisville game. I mean, I was forced in the Iowa State-Kansas game. I had no other choice, so I don't feel bad about that one. But the other two, I whiffed. Should have saw some other things coming. Other than those, like NC State over Duke, that was my second choice, but instead I went Syracuse-Louisville, and that ended up not working out for me. Anyways, but then thank you, Arizona State. You turned my week around, and then Buffalo went into Kent State and won double overtime, and then we got Providence to beat Marquette, and then on Sunday, I was hoping and praying for this 3-game winning streak to continue, and it did. I got the Ohio State victory over Maryland, my first winning record in a while of a not postseason. Anyways, let's hope to extend this winning streak to 5. Okay, get into it. Monday, if you guys don't know, that's today. Louisville, please. Florida State, and Florida State's ranked above Louisville, and this is my upset of the day, mainly because it's just so close. Florida State's an 8, Louisville's 11, and we're talking about the top of the ACC is the 11. They're a really good basketball team. They had the bad week where they lost to Georgia Tech and Clemson, but then this week they just crushed Syracuse and UNC, and this will be their first big test since they had that slump. But I think Louisville's going to pull this game out, and it's the best upset of the day. Although, like, we're not going to lie here, Texas over West Virginia is a very, very good upset pick as well, because Texas has turned their season around last week, and beat TCU and Kansas State, which is not West Virginia, but they're also not bad schools either. And West Virginia has lost 4 out of its last 5 basketball games. Granted, 2 of them were against Baylor and Kansas, but then they also lost to Oklahoma. They've lost to TCU. That's a bad one, and I don't remember the other one. West Virginia's in a slump. That's also a good pick here, but I'm going to stick with Louisville over Florida State. Now, moving on to Tuesday, tomorrow night. There's 2 good ones. Ole Miss over Auburn, because Auburn's bad and has been playing bad. But Ole Miss, I might have picked it, but Ole Miss looked really bad against Alabama. So this is why I'm going with the other one. Plus, okay, I was ranked above Michigan State, and those 2 are tied for 3rd place in the Big Ten. Right? I don't think. Technically, them and Penn State all have the same record, but Penn State has the tiebreaker over Iowa and over Michigan State, so they're at the 2nd spot. Which is why on Tuesday I'm picking Michigan State over Iowa. Michigan State's a really good basketball team. They started getting it on, and it's going to be a really good game because you're talking about Cassius Winston, one of the best players in the entire NCAA right now, and we're talking about Luka Garza, a dominant player in the NCAA. So I'm just excited to see how this game works out, but I think Michigan State's going to win. That's my upset of Tuesday. Now Wednesday, it's a little bit more difficult because there's only 3 top 25 games on Wednesday, and we're all not picking St. John's over Creighton. I don't know. St. John's is playing another good basketball team. We're all not picking that. St. John's is absolute garbage this year. But then we're looking at either Rutgers over Penn State or Minnesota over Maryland. Okay. So these... if I'm... Rutgers over Penn State is more likely to happen because Penn State is on a 2-game losing streak, but I'm a Penn State fan. I can't pick against them, so this is why my Wednesday pick is going to be Minnesota over Maryland. It's going to be a huge upset if it happens, but it does happen in Minnesota, so that's a good thing. Rutgers does have to go to Penn State, which is going to give Penn State a little bit of an edge. I think Minnesota's going to edge out Maryland on Wednesday. Now on Thursday, if you didn't know, Michigan rised into the standings this week, which means Michigan is going to be upset this week. We're talking about Wisconsin. Wisconsin's going to go into Michigan and beat them because Wisconsin is playing well. And Michigan, they're also playing well. But this is the best upset of Thursday, in my opinion. Michigan's not a Maryland. They're not a Penn State. They're not an Iowa. They're not a Michigan State. That's for sure. But Michigan's still a very good basketball team. And I think they could compete in the end. They're going to definitely compete in March Madness. Every single team that makes it to March Madness has a chance to compete because they're all really, really good basketball teams. Let's not forget about that. If your team makes March Madness, it's a success of your season either way. If they lose, if they don't win the entire thing or not. But let's get on to Friday. Friday's just so hard. There's only one top 25 team plays on Friday, which normally I don't get a top 25 team to play on Friday, which is why I've picked Buffalo to beat Kent State last week. But now I have to pick a top 25 team to be upset. And it's not just it has to be a top 25 team. It has to be number 4 Dayton being upset by Davidson. Now, Davidson's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Davidson is having not a great year. But, I mean, they beat Rhode Island last week. I'm not confident in this at all. But this is my upset on Friday. Davidson's going to beat Dayton. Hopefully, I'll just go undefeated this week and I can extend my winning streak all the way to 11. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Moving on to Saturday, and it has become a tradition for me to pick Providence over a ranked team on Saturday. It works almost every week. Well, it's worked every week for me so far. I picked Providence over Seton Hall 2 weeks ago. They won. I picked Providence over Marquette last week. They won. Now let's put Providence against the real test. They're going to play Villanova. Providence is going to beat Villanova because Providence is my team. Let's go, Tuckers. Providence, yeah. I'm such a huge Providence fan this year just because they've bailed me out of so many bad situations. I love Providence. They kept my win streak alive. So, Providence on Saturday is going to beat Villanova. Now, Sunday, there are some good upsets here. Like, for instance, Cincinnati could beat Houston, but I think Houston's better than Cincinnati. But, here's my pick. I think that Ohio State is 23, right? Michigan is 19. Technically, Ohio State's an underdog. I would like to remind you that last week, Ohio State beat the top Maryland team. The top one. Maryland's very good. Ohio State is a pretty good basketball squad. They're going to upset Michigan on Sunday, and those are my 7 days of upset picks. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Hopefully, I'm right 100% of the time this week, and I go 7-0. It's going to happen. Watch. Anyways, this is GGB and co-host Pupper saying, adios, amigo.